Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we will be playing more Transport Fever 2. I do apologize about the late start. Let me see. Think so. So let's come here and see if we can capture it. Go. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna load this and then we will be probably reloading it with some updates to some mods, and I believe we added a couple more. But I do need to check them out to make sure that everything is working the way it should. I've always forgotten how long the load time can get when you have a bunch of mods installed. Although this, like several other games I've played, they handle mods so well and they have such a great dedicated community that honestly once you start using mods, it's actually really hard not to. Not because the game is bad, but because you can really feel the love in a lot of the mods in many cases. Now, the thing that worries me is I have no idea if there is a reason I cannot hear anything. It might just be simply because I have the music turned off for safety's sake. Um, it could also just be that I accidentally broke the audio. I won't know until it loads, but I do know that I have to keep Gamer Kitty in my lap because he keeps trying to jump on my keyboard. Went from nothing to I'm just gonna load everything all at once, real quick. I do apologize, as I do know uh, loading screen can be quite boring. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot that I can do about it at this very second. Um, well, technically, as most people would know who play video games, there's not a lot you can do about a loading screen ever. Or at least nothing that would be cheap. Honestly, it's been so long since we have played this. And as you can tell by the FPS counter in the corner, it is very upset, and I'm hoping one of the mods did not break the game. Which is fine, because we're adding more mods, so always a chance that we brick the game. It's also always a chance that, theoretically, I could be loading the wrong save. Nope, nope. This does look like the correct save. Now, just a matter of going load. Options, listen to the game freak out. We want extended roads and extended highways. Hit apply. Hit load. And I just realized, hopefully, this loads a little quicker since the assets have already been moved. However, it may also be more time, unfortunately, of us sitting here and chatting. Granted, I have no problem with that. Sorry if you guys can hear me sneaking a snack in the background. Yeah, I don't know about anyone else, but I am highly, highly anticipating the new Transport Fever 3. I keep seeing little bits and snippets here and there, and then everyone's kind of gone dark on it. And I'm hoping that we either get more about it or that it starts coming out soon. Hopefully this should just load right up. We'll be back at our station. I added the 2 road mods only because when I was thinking about bringing the series back, I realized the highways weren't quite the way I wanted them. So having something for the late game that would give us a little bit more pop, I thought would go well. Identity unknown. Thank you for stopping in. I do apologize about the wait with the load screen. Hopefully it should tick over soon. Gonna take me a second though when we do get in, because it has been a minute since I played the save. Reacquaint myself with the stuff I was planning. Pause time because we were moving very quickly, especially because everything's gonna take a second to load. Yep. Not too bad. Trains not maxed out, so that's actually quite good. Let's go back to normal speed. Okay, kind of nice. Let's take a peek. Oh, cool. So it did add the pedestrian footpath and a whole bunch of other things. Roads, cool. That's nice. Little footpaths to make things a little bit cleaner. Track. I know we will get more unlocked later on as things progress. But it is nice to have access to some of these things. For all, we do want to make it a relatively smooth system, make it, you know, closer to what you would expect in a real township and all that. Try to, you know, make it look pretty. So here, I don't think we have to manage the line, but we do have to manage the trains. And tell them, hey, make sure you run very high. Thankfully, we are doing pretty well for finance. Our biggest issue is... Ooh, why is our load speed so low? Because we're overshooting the platform length, of course. What kind of solutions do I have for that? Obviously, ripping this out and this out, extending it is probably going to be for the best, but that'll have to wait. A new sorting center open? Is it anywhere near any of the stuff we want? No, it's very remote for right now. Up, buddy. There we go. Not perfect, but it does get the stuff operating at a decent speed. It is funny that I've technically double-faced the train, so... So, all that's going, I think we're going to look at what kind of stuff we are doing the manufacturing of. I think we want to look at tools. That's where we said we were at. I believe we might be able to get away with the trams for it. At least after we take the trains and set up some stations. roads. Oh, oh, I'm putting down the wrong stations anyway. That's no bueno. There we go. There, and then we come here to those roads. And the trick that we're going to do, because we're doing things the way we're doing them, I'm going to this as a bit of a bypass. Now it's not going to yell at us quite as much if someone wants to go there, but it does allow us to take our trains. Make a quick little tunnel. Actually not bad. The part that's got me worried is over here. So that's actually really decent, because even though it's going to start here, it's going to be going through and through traffic, so it should behave itself. Question is, do I want to do this? And I think the answer is going to be like that. Maybe not at an angle, because if we do not put it facing like that, fade away. Although it does appear that I will be doing a lot of underground work for this. A double underground. It's interesting. The problem I've got is I have to lower the ground here, because I need to have the switchback, and I can't have the switchback in a tunnel. It doesn't work. Ooh. Ooh, it behaved itself. Now, we do have train station there. All this is underground, so there's not really a good point to add. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add right here. I'm gonna add it like that. Boom. Not perfect, but it works. Come to our signals. Auto signals, yes. Oh. Not how I'd like it to go, but you know, one or the other. ALT is going to be our T. Is technically the processing of the tools. As I go here, then there. All you're gonna do. These stations, you are more than welcome to use both, but you have to make sure that you are crossing correct directions. Does appear you are. Okay. Here. By. You know that the generics have quite a few. Worried about anything other than pulling capacity. 880 is not bad. I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, we're gonna grab two of these, pushing 880. Had enough for Whew. Okay. You are a very train. Set your main. Tell you to go off and handle that. Double check. Okay. Want to make sure we did not have a outstanding debt, because that is one of the quickest ways to end up with basically a destroyed network. Cargo. Yes. However, I think we will do just the one. Better yet, we're already doing that. We'll do 3 across, figure it, come to the cargo, and make it slightly bigger. Everything nice and stable. Honestly, taking it down might be better, simply because it's going to be empty coming up. Which means they could move quite a bit faster. Not use that. That right to there. Ready yet. At least right now, we'll have you come all the way into the transfer. So, these guys. Say 15 for now. Behavior there. Now, the important thing I need to make sure I'm careful with, that has a rate of 81. I'm going to have to double that to keep up with the full processing, as it were. However, that should get us tools moved into the town, which will be a massive boon for us. You very much dislike the fact that these are not being counted. I might have to extend the platform just to get the extra control. Especially if the tools get set into that. Fine, and gives that a little bit of time to build up. Three and a half to work with. So, I'm gonna come out here, break down all of this. fine. Because when I come here to configure and tracks, does mean it's gonna off center. Okay, we're gonna have to go back even further on that, but that's not the worst. And we're just gonna carefully bring this down. Not the platform I want. That is the basis of the entire platform. The old one. Okay, we're using undergrounds for this, so we're gonna go there and there, there and there. That's cool. They added the sheltered. It, not as grand as a massive passenger station, but it'll work for now. Quickly. Ability. There. Move it yet again. is quite a bit better from what I was concerned with. Theory. It should be relatively behaved. I think the biggest thing to do is come here and make sure that yep. Figured that would be an issue. Here. Routes only visible the stone. That on your way back. Make sure you pass that. That should keep you out of the way for the most part. Boston Steel Mill. I know we're not Boston, but fortunately, Boston Steel will not be a thing for us. How much? Okay, 480. Not quite where I normally would have them, but it's enough for now. Stone is moving as quick as possible. Now that is only doing 31. So, going to be a bit of a rough one. Our inner city goods are hemorrhaging money. Understood that they would in the beginning. Theory, this is going to be light on funds in the beginning, but not that bad as time goes on. Has me worried is the fact that this is doing things the way it's doing things. What I'm gonna do, even though it's probably not necessary, it's kind of silly. Take that. These. I'm gonna make the postal train. Very high. And what we're gonna do is come here. And I'll make sure it's white. It's gonna go from here to here to here. only things it's gonna work with are the mail. Is this inefficient? Absolutely. This is excessively inefficient. It is, however, absolutely delightful. I'm trying to think of what to call this. Have like a north, south, east, west. Actually go for the full town name. Allentown Mail Train. You put on the mail route, and then we walk up here. Manage this line. Make things behave. Thankfully, it looks like the mail is going to cycle over to where it needs to go. It'll do that by the time the train gets back. Go. See, what I'd love to do is make a standardized station, something simple and nice for passengers, and just have a tiny little like loading dock for the mail, and just have mail tacked onto passenger trains like they would do back in the day. There's a lot of bread, but there's still so much more to go for it. Yeah, I wish we had the thing that lets it for the passenger cars for the mail, because then we can really get that moving.
What card are you asking about?
Sorry about that. That was very weird. This done any level of production? Kind of, sort of. I do know it's what, a 2-to-1. So every time this train shows up, Only half of it makes it out. Vehicles, we're gonna here. Make sure your maintenance is next. Actually, wonder. Can I select everything and just go maintenance max? There we go. I wonder because I know you can do some segment upgrades. Here's a smart thing. One road. And then we're gonna use our tool. Time's moving a little slow for it. We're gonna do that. Grab our tool. Electric. So many. We all have parking lots, which I am very interested. Wait, tram is a neat one. It is not the only one. A 12 lane. That is absurd. Question is, it lets me put one on the outside. That would never fly. One of the things I cannot wait for in the new Transport Fever 3 is a lot of this is going to be a manual control system. Oh, okay, it's in an autosave. I thought I broke it. It's pretty. No idea what, like, aside from pretty stuff, don't feel like that would be very useful to me. do like that. It looks nice. Got a bit of sophistication to it. The problem we have is nothing here is that sophisticated yet. It'll get there eventually. Look at doing. Really wish there was like just, you know, medium old 4-lane. I don't want to go crazy with it. I do need to bring these up to a full amount. This, like that. Do it? Yes, okay. Much better. And that does filter quite well. Not perfect, but it'll let stuff filter in and filter away as needed. You'll also find it a little interesting that the mail is showing up here, but a whole lot that can be done about it. So from here, I don't know why. A hard time. They're right next to each other, is that what it is? Okay, so all the mail is going into the other direction. Enough? And we're turning a very, very good profit. Okay. Manage vehicles, all of you. Edit. Right now they're good. I'm gonna do that. It'll get you guys a little extra cargo room. But it does at least make you guys look relatively pretty. Everybody bored? Go. Wonder I'm on 17 million. Um, First and foremost, I am not locking this in. Test run. All the way over there. 29 million. But it would be one heck of a shortcut. $29 million for that tunnel. I do not blame them. I would not want to make this particular tunnel myself either. $30 million tunnel that would bypass a lot of the headache with going around, but I think this is gonna stay for a little while. Even though it is not the fastest. Yep. This dip down to 66. Oof. Although I feel like I could fix that just by deleting it and replacing it. So I'm gonna do that and pretend like it isn't a terrifying proposition. Go. Now we have a tunnel. Tunnel actually looks the part. Find it funny that, comes out of a tunnel, go back into a tunnel to then run into all this. Sorry, buddy, I really wish you could go faster. Until we get the new rail cars, you're kind of stuck. I will come here, though. A lot further than we need. Where autosave. Please finish up. So we can save. We do have to come here. Station. Using it right now does make things a little easier. Also interesting to see that some stuff just isn't sticking. The thing. it is, so that at least makes it look a little better. They are a little confused, so they're dancing around for now. But at least in theory, they should be able to backlog a little bit in here. Get everything moving nice and smoothly. Alright. Now, we are wasting quite a bit by having them go through here. So we are going to come here, tools, and read. And electrify all this, because at some point I'm aware we will switch over to that. Should give them a better route. Such a better route, they actually stop to turn around and go deal with it that way. How much extra wood? This is pushing 600. I'm gonna have to configure this terminal because who is it? Heavy. Basically be more than this will output in a year. It does have a secondary phase. I don't know if we're gonna reach it, but if we do, I might have to upgrade. This guy should never need to upgrade because it's only ever doing whatever this train is pulling. Cool. Train's doing 75. That is quite nice. Now, all I need is a car that can actually do that. I believe those are steam trams, so theoretically speaking, I should be able to guys with some steam trams if we ever get to the point where, you know, they're not fast enough or whatnot. Here, I'm going to buy. So that maxes out at 16. This maxes, or yeah, 16. This maxes out at 19. So it is a little faster, but well, it's a little faster and it can hold quite a bit more. But at that point, I would only need 2 of those to run this whole line. And while that sounds great, I don't know how I actually feel about that. Makes it feel like the kind of thing where they would very easily station is overloaded. You isn't it? Ooh. Hmm. Not particularly sure which station you are referring to. Oh yeah, I forgot we could do passengers that way. all vehicles. Sell. Kept 2. That was a foolish of me. Fool me once, I'm a fool. Food, if I'm not mistaken. Then replace you. All have sworn. Oh, right. I need all cargo types. Forgot about that. Fly, go. You now are doing 120. You now are doing. Still quite a bit, but at least now they will be moving. Well, processing, managed vehicles, you're all getting replaced. Aye. Vehicles. There we go. Now, granted, you don't really need that big of a thing in the city, and I might actually duck it down. But since this is going to be going in city and out of city, that's gonna have to stay. There we go. It's kind of funny slash interesting. We spent most of this episode just making sure the mail works. Wrong. I am probably going to switch away from trams at a certain point, not for efficiency, but for style. At a certain point, there is going to be cargo cars that are going to work really well for. Wait, what was that? With side stakes. Hmm. Eventually, there will be street cars that just they're smaller, they hold a little bit more. Traffic as necessary. In per drop. Yeah, some of my stuff, like this goods train, whereas the gas train, swimming in profit. Passenger trains, swimming in profit. Eat it. And all these are doing is moving bread. One who needs tools is Allentown. And I believe even if I push it to go over Salt Lake City, very large run. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be worth it, because it'll always be worth it to add another city to the mix. Problem's gonna be when I want to add these guys. If you look, it's all kind of in a basin, which means any train station is going to be quite a ways away. Like, I'm not even at person height technically, and those mountains are enormous. It is also up a hill. Granted, it would let me get bread in, or food, sorry. Don't have the steel to do machinery in that sense. Let's see if there are any other. A lot of them are just doing. Okay, so they're all gonna do steel. The question is, which ones are going to do steel and silver, and which one's going to do steel and wood? Now, while we have wood being processed, it's not being processed in a relatively simple manner. It's actually a bit of a hassle. Silver, it's not great. We can do it. Got the coal, we've got the iron. You have the steel mill. It's just a matter of getting stuff there. Another steel mill. See, that's the biggest headache with the steel mill is no matter what, I'm probably going to be moving coal from here to there, and iron ore from here to there, to put the whole thing into the network. At which point I might have to expand this station, I just realized, because it would end up being a steel production line. And the problem is this is also at the bottom of the hill, so we'd want to go gently up it. And I feel like, yeah, let me. Like anything I try to do, quite a painful thing. Like, that's probably the gentlest I've seen this slope, and I still very hesitant to do that. Now I could take and pull steel up here, which could be an interesting thing. It would just be a very rough thing, because I would need to break off almost immediately. Ooh, I apologize. Wouldn't be able to use this line because even though they technically intersect, it's underground and own little thing. Question is, how am I getting over up the hill? If we're shipping silver down the hill to get here. That to there, then puts everything together to go up to there. That's also a problem. In fact, that's not even connected. Highway. Down to 19. I'm not really fond of that. New tram. work, especially given the fact that that not electrified, but that's not really a problem. Question is, how do I want to go about doing this? Because you never really want to go through a town to get up here. Feels like fight, basically. Like, even at best, a massive viaduct with a tunnel. The only upside is it is a genuine, like, right there path. Like, don't really get much quicker than that. That's just bad. The worst, so that I wanted to spend on that, but is gonna get the silver. Here. Forgot that station on. Hmm. Let's go to our contour lines and take a peek. That is quite dramatic, actually. It's also 7 million. Um. Oh, that's why, because it is an insanely steep hill. Yeah, that would do it. That. But it does not, however, get it where we want it. So whole thing before. Then we're going to do something kind of silly. And now even have right. We will take all this carefully, bring it into the city. So what we want to do, line and be road work down. What? I'm gonna make you big because you will actually be doing multiple things all in one. Stop. Who knows? There. There. To there. Gray, and it is ALN. Okay. Kind of view. Gray. Normal. On the steel line. You come here. Manage the line. We want to make sure that we come here and say, hey, you can use everything. Higher. And everything higher. One, which means we will be on a reduction, but if we are bringing other goods up to here, I could probably make it a little multi-passage. And silver. There. There. And that should connect everything. KLN tools. Not great, but theoretically speaking, if we get a whole bunch of stuff, that should be fine. The problem's gonna be I can't do this, and the first thing it did was auto buy. Yep. We're gonna need about 50 of these. I was expecting that to be a lot worse. Okay. About 10. Come on. Does help if you here. Probably close to 20 of these. Problem that you could be uh, pulled into a problem state. Be careful with that. Practically speaking, this town's gonna go kind of insane for a second. Because all these have to make their way out of town. That's gonna be a minute. Problematic. Deliveries. Hey, buddies. Please. Great. That to bypass. Get it all set. Take this, go to deliveries again, and add the rest. Another food processor, but right in one of the most inconvenient places possible. Not to mention, we don't need it because right now we're processing quite a hefty amount of food. We're actually having a hard time moving it all. Um, Downtown, buddy. Taking the tools back, but you scared the everything out of me. A friend. Wire bricks, no going out. It's because Allentown did that thing, didn't it? Painful. At least in theory, this should just spread out. Discrete access. Here. Discrete. Doubles. Should get them entering from different sides, which isn't going to fix a lot, but it should help a little bit with the processing. Sorry, can you not traffic jam on me? No, I'm not doing this in the best of ways, but I should be doing this a little smarter than you are, and that has me a little concerned. Still doing one force, so of handling 130 and vehicles duplicate. If I configure this, theoretically speaking, that perfect, but it is a solution. Sorry, but is this? It said that silver bars, and I don't get why they're shrink wrapped. But also, I'm going to be blunt with you. If looking at like the scale of things, if that is a person and these are pallets of silver bars, this is more money than most people would ever fathom. That's insane. Like I get, ooh, big ore loads that have to be processed and milled and yeah. Not how that works, buddy. That's bothering me quite extensively. Perfect, but it'll work for now. It's hard doing 16, it's not crazy. 18. Possibility I missed something. I do not. road. Yeah, still nothing new. Train. Passenger. And now our cargo wagons are necessary. Still no things. They have a bit more horsepower. Wrong, these are more horsepower at lower speed, so they're probably gonna be fast, cargo. These ones will very much probably end up being more passenger oriented. Those guys are neat, but at least for now, they're not really. Don't get me wrong, I would love to set up like a shunting yard and have them moving goods in and out and you know doing something that is neat more so than something that's required. Also, I am turning a very nice profit right now. More to work with. We do have to come here. For this. Definitely need to go back and upgrade the other one because going to their full height, which is oof. Oh, he's there to scare me. Senseless. Being in a sensible manner. Biggest problem is going uphill. See? Any cart that is moving slow. Quite a bit of coal, but until our parts get back, they are not going to be producing. Like, I can't fathom a need for that. Kind of like that behavior better. Because okay, so it's basically whether I'm going alternate pattern or not. And I like that a little bit better. Yeah, that's probably the perfect one right there. Granted, we still have our little design preference. So configure. Island. That's a bidirectional. Bidirectional bus lane. Yeah, it's neat. Not really anything I'm particularly worried about. Got the most cargo. Wheat. Holy moly. Um, that is a lot of wheat. Is an obscene amount of wheat. You only got 2 trains running it. Manage vehicles. Take, duplicate. Could help generating waste because we are still moving more than we had planned. Now, part of me kind of wants to put a little V train station right here and then do a little shunting train that comes up and drops off. Like either right here or right there. You know, something cute. But have it so that it is moving product that's going through the town just on its own. so bad. I really shouldn't do this. But I'm just... cargo. And that's it. Bigger. And the only reason we're doing that is because we already have the space taking up. Buildings. Cargo sheds. Here. Go. 1 and 2 are off doing their own little thing. Come here with tracks. Forward ever so slightly. So silly and unnecessary, but absolutely adorable. Don't need to go fast because they're only going right across town. But the important bit is I need to figure out how I'm getting these. Why not? Autosave has got it frozen, so go. And again, better. Signals right there, there. Oh, she's gonna write for that. we go. That's all there is to it. Not gonna bother going all the way out there. That's not worth it. We're gonna come here. One is small but mighty. 680 seems to be the horsepower of A. Yep. You. Our cargoes. And we're going to do the smaller wagons. Okay, we're going to get 2 of them. We're going to throw you on the shunting line. And let's take a peek. See how cute you are. Let's slow you down. They are quite adorable. And they fit right in there. I don't think these are going to be profitable. Not right away. This is just, gonna make it so that hopefully, if there's any goods that have to go from this main over to the train station, it'll do it in that. Processing. Manage the line. Okay, so I don't like adding it to here. Does make the terminal behave in a specific manner, and it's never really been. But since I have food being processed at a much higher rate, oh look, it's already working. I might have to add a whole bunch of stuff to it though. But I do find it cute that these are just working. Like, I built a cute little, hey, I wanted a shunting yard, and now I have one. That's neat. Okay, that's a massive ship. Oh, look, that's cute. Next to Irvin with some open style cars. Decent capacity, actually, but I could do 72. So, oh, so they were built specifically to prevent fire, which is honestly kind of cool. Um, Buildings. Gonna have to max out. Find me. And vehicles. Both. And wait for the save, and then we should be good to close. Come on. Definitely think it's gonna pop open the oh, no, okay. We'll do that. Actually, we'll come here. Say, hey, everything. No. Okay. That should get the food over there in a relatively simple manner without driving it through the city. I believe that is where we're going to wrap up today. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy.